Ooh, sweet!
Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's the way you can follow our personal Twitter at the show's Twitter page, which is @_JD Sports. Thank you for watching on YouTube. How do the people listen on SoundCloud?
Is it JD Sports or JD Sports?
JD Sports. @_JD Sports.
I was just making sure.
If we were the Dan Le Batard show, I'd have to be fined $5 for that because Stugatz get fined $5 for doing that stuff all the time. Never mind that.
Yeah, I'm not.
How do you listen to it on SoundCloud if you're watching on YouTube?
Yo, hit that SoundCloud.com/JD Sports Show. And download it. Hit the like button, share button, favorite, leave a comment, all that on everything we talk about.
Dwight,
what's up?
How was your weekend?
Cool. Football started.
See, this week we have. How about Kansas City? We have the NFC East to talk about. We're going to get into Oakland. We'll definitely probably talk about Houston, Baltimore, the rest of the NFL. We do have a fight to talk about. A little bit of college football maybe to get into.
That'd be great.
We're going to talk picks and Kobe Bean Bryant, retired numbers maybe. But
Greatest of all time. Got it.
Dwight, the first weekend of football, or at least in the NFL, had Kansas City starting off on Thursday night, basically flipping the entire league on its head because, well, I think everybody and their mother was talking about how good New England was. And
just kidding.
Look, the upside of this, if you're in any way, shape, or form one of these people like we both were on the side of thinking New England, is this good, blah, blah, blah. Kansas City, remember a couple years ago, beat New England by like 41 or 42 on a Monday night, and that was the Cincinnati game, and everyone was talking about benching Brady for Garoppolo, and it's funny, I saw an article today about just picking the Patriots apart, and I'm not that guy that tweets at these writers and players anymore, but I was thinking if, a couple years ago, I would have tweeted at that writer and just lit him up for like way to come with the hot take about how bad the Patriots are and how it might be time to almost move on from Brady after the loss. Where were you before the season when everybody was talking about there's a realistic chance of them going undefeated? Here we are. That's obviously not going to happen. Well, Belichick was even asked about it. The point being is they were so good and so heavily favored coming into the season that you did not expect that to happen. And they were leading in the second half of that game. It just was an explosive. Once Hightower went out, they didn't have anybody to cover the fast guys in Hunt or Tyreek Hill. So it becomes an explosive offense. Andy Reid, opens up the playbook to no end, and Alex Smith looks like a world beater against the Patriots of anybody. Look, the person who has the most points against the Patriots of all time in Belichick's era is Andy Reid twice, and he actually both with the Chiefs, and he actually has another 36-point game with the Eagles against them. I'm pretty sure AJ Feely was even the quarterback of that team, if I'm not mistaken. That was the undefeated team. The Patriots won that game, if I'm not mistaken, 39-37 or 41-37 or something like that. But AJ Feely scored 37 points in that game. It was a Sunday night football game. I'll never forget that. But point being, Andy Reid, especially in the regular season, and I'm an Eagles fan, I love Andy Reid, but he is more proven in the regular season that this is come to be expected. He will prepare for you. You give him a bye week, first week of the season, I'm pretty sure he's 31-9 or something like that. Yeah. It's with the first week of the season and the bye week combined. So he's just, with time to prepare, he's obviously incredible. That being said, after the first 5 minutes, the Patriots looked slow on offense. Hightower got hurt. The defense gets completely exposed. The secondary that I talked about being so good gets picked apart, even though I still think they're going to be good. They didn't get as much pressure on the pass. Look, I want to give Kareem Hunt and Alex Smith and Hill and Kelsey, the rest of the entire offense, Andy Reid, all the credit in the world, especially for doing what they did against a Bill Belichick team. But you have to look at it as, what was that from the Patriots? That was not very Patriot. Gronk looked a little rusty, but that's first game.
Brady, no touchdowns.
Under 3. What do you have? Under 200? No,
I think he had
250 something or 260 something. So
zero touchdowns.
Zero touchdowns.
There's zero interceptions though. But I mean,
look, I actually said it, and I know Belichick likes to go for it. Not just Belichick, their offensive coordinator in general, McDaniels likes to go for it. But when they were up 7-0, they had the ball. It was 4th and 1, and they were in field goal range. I kept saying, just kick the field goal. I kept saying to my TV, just kick the field goal, because I really thought it's just too early in the season to be playing around with points, and I'm a guy who always takes the points in the first place. Sometimes I do go back on that, and look, Belichick, there's many times where I'm saying kick the field goal, he doesn't kick the field goal, the first down, because Tom Brady's almost automatic at that.
Yeah.
But they don't have LeGarrette Blount this year, and that was the difference.
Right.
LeGarrette Blount used to be able to get that 4th and 1. That's an identity, something that they didn't have. Look, not just that, Brady was getting pressured all night, which that doesn't happen. As fast as he gets the ball up, he still didn't have time. And yeah, I mean, he looks better than Eli Manning when he gets pressured, but you know, it's still
pretty bad.
They scored 20 some. They scored 21 points. It's not, but look, 21 points is not. I mean, they're usually getting 25 to 31 points. So they still were not on the norm.
And
they weren't keeping up to the 40
because of him.
points anyways.
So.
Right? No, I absolutely agree. He got them in the red zone. He had big passes, but it was what three rushing touchdowns, two for the same guy. Kareem Hunt breaking a rookie record, ridiculous. He had 45 fantasy points. Shout out to him being on my bench in a fantasy team I lost with. That was fun.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
It was just belly laughing about it.
I'm laughing. That's kind of funny.
Alex Smith did look impressive, nonetheless. He was, hitting receivers left and right.
Yeah, when Alex Smith looks good, he looks very good.
Do you think
kind of
that
standard procedure with him?
Eric Berry got hurt? Do you think that
it sucks? That really sucks.
Because Kansas City's defense looked really good, obviously.
Defense.
Do you think that's going to affect them to the point where now they kind of, instead of like they're fighting with Oakland, that's a big win.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that kind of now it's going to slip away? I mean, he's out for the season. That's going to make it really hard for them to win this division. Do you think they can still get a wild card?
Yeah,
their defense is still good, but he's the anchor of that defense.
He is literally their defense. I mean, you were talking about the hot takes or whatever about Brady and the Patriots and blah blah blah. I just want to quickly mention yet again. I said something last week that people thought was kind of funky. The whole Madden curse thing. I said I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm not saying that it's taking its effect. But literally, when I saw that game and I saw him not do anything for Brady's sake, for a Tom Brady game, that was not a Tom Brady game. I wondered. I was just like, I mean, is it that curse?
Well, I think the curse is an injury thing. I don't think it's like on the field thing.
It's an in general thing. It's not always injuries. Something happens where you just have an off year. Look, it's way too early.
He's also 40 years old.
That's what I'm saying. It's way too early to say that. It's way too early to say, okay, the curse is going to be Father Time punching him in the face. But it wasn't a good showing.
No, it was not a good showing. But
he looked. Well, he didn't look horrible, but he didn't look.
He completed the lowest percentage
like
of passes of his career since 2006. He had 44%. He completed 41% in the game in 2006. He hasn't done that, and that's 11 years. That's a long time. So he still almost had 260. Obviously, didn't get the touchdown.
No.
But. Yeah, I agree. Look, he looked a little off and looked a little different.
Maybe it was. Can't have that happen.
Maybe it was the Chiefs' defense though as well.
Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, if you see that, I don't expect it. But if we see that the same type of play out of him going through week 2, it might be time for a little question. And even then, it's still kind of early because it's only week 2. But I mean, considering his age and everything that we were just saying.
Sam Bradford put a perfect passer rating up against New Orleans this week, and that's who he plays on a short week for New Orleans. So I feel like Tom Brady has a good chance of bouncing back. We will get into that.
We're gonna see, but if he doesn't, we're gonna be having a whole nother conversation next week or whenever the hell we do another show.
Speaking about having a whole nother conversation, Ezekiel Elliott plays for the Dallas Cowboys, and he looked unstoppable. He had 104 yards on like 16, 17 carries, something like that. No touchdowns, but didn't need a touchdown. Got a bunch of first downs. Dez had a bunch of
bodies when he runs.
Dez had a bunch of big catches.
Because anybody can run through that line.
Cole Beasley.
People don't knock it off of that. Are they done talking about that yet?
Dak's favorite wide receiver. Cole Beasley.
Time out. Go back to Zeke. Are we done? Are they done? Are we done with that whole anybody can run on the offensive line? Are we done with that?
I'm sure people aren't, but look, before
I was. How many times did I have to
well
say?
Ahead of that train.
How many times did I even call that out while we were watching the game? He was dragging 3 dudes behind him. That's not the offensive line.
We both agree.
You can't stop him.
You and I both agree.
You can't. He's Adrian Peterson minus 20 years or whatever it is.
The famous
you can't
story.
Stop him.
I was watching the Eagles-Giants game, and we were having a conversation about the Eagles running backs last year, and I said that Ezekiel Elliott would start on the Eagles, and he would start on probably most teams. But they were like, guys were fighting me. They were saying that Darren McFadden wasn't like they were just going on how. And I talked about how good Darren McFadden is, and how Darren McFadden would have probably started for the Eagles last year. But still, he wasn't. Zeke was better than all of them by a wide margin. Yeah. And that's I guess, and they just didn't understand that. They were just telling me anybody could run behind it.
He has too much power. He has too much agility. Back to Dak's favorite wide receiver,
Cole Beasley, man.
It's not Dez Bryant.
Shout out to anybody who picked him up in fantasy. Like, what, he had 100 catches in game one, it felt like?
I don't even know, dude.
What was the score? 27-0, 27-3, 27-13, 23, 27-7? I don't know the score. I just remember they dominated him. That's all I really...
the exact score.
They just did what they wanted. They handled him. Dak had a couple of hard throws, but
a couple.
Look, it's week one. It's week one. He's gonna fall back into that groove. He'll fall back into that groove.
I didn't like how on the one drive, I think it was the open one, where he tried to force it back to back to Dez Bryant, and that was ridiculous. But they're trying to get it to Dez. They just don't connect. I don't know whose fault it is. I feel like it's Dak's. And when you see him forcing passes like that, you would think. And plus, the defender smacked it a couple times, and but. They need to figure it out. They had all offseason trying to figure this out.
They're going to have the best
cornerbacks. They need to figure this out.
But they don't have anybody who can cover Dez the way that Dez is going to get covered in the game because, no offense to Nolan Carroll, but he's toast. He gets burned by Dez in practice probably every single time they line up against each other. And if that's their best option to cover him in practice, then you're not going to get the practice you need to go up against the Skandrick or whoever. Skandrick was the guy, right? Lindro Skandrick was the guy who was covering Dez all day on Sunday, and he did a really good job against him, the guy with the dreads. You know what I'm talking about? You remember watching in 24, I think his number was. He was handling Dez pretty well. No, not Skandrick. Who was it?
I don't know what you're talking
about. You know what I'm talking about. The guy with the dreads, though.
I don't know.
There was a guy with the dreads covering Dez all night. He handled it pretty well, though. But you're not.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's practice. I don't know if it's Dez or Dak or if these defenders are just getting on him or what the situation is.
I think it's the defenders covering him.
And it was the same thing I said last year because people were like, "Oh, Dez is done." I'm like, no. Tony Romo would get him the ball. Like literally, I don't understand why Dak can't seem to just connect with this man. But he can connect with Cole Beasley, and if it works, I guess you can't be mad at it. He still hits Jason Witten, and you got Zeke. And if you can occasionally connect with Dez, then that's a problem. And I don't know how you stop that. If he can hit Dez.
I know Odell was out. I know that I don't think that the Giants' offensive line is as good as people try to tell me. I know that I don't think that the Giants have any running backs, and I know that I don't think Eli's as good as everyone tries to explain to me that he is. But Jalen Smith and Sean Lee had impressive games at linebacker. The defense was getting pressure, which that's what you need to do against Eli. The offense, the wide receivers, Brandon Marshall was not getting separation.
Who was he and who does he play for?
Brandon Marshall.
He plays for the Jets.
He used to always be open.
He plays for
Brandon
the New York
Marshall
Jets.
used to be open 7-11.
He plays for the Dolphins. He don't play for the Giants. I don't know who the hell was out there with a jersey that said Marshall on it. Who was that guy? They targeted him one time.
Yeah.
One time. Odell Beckham is not out there. You just paid this man whatever the heck you just paid him. You targeted him one time. One time. Not like one completion. They targeted him one time.
If Odell's out there, he probably gets more separation, but I just...
You figure. Against the Cowboys secondary?
Sterling Shepard is a good cornerback, a good wide receiver for the Giants. So you figure them two together.
You can't figure it out.
No, I don't
all
disagree.
Those rookies in our secondary.
I don't disagree. I'm not defending it.
That's terrible.
I don't understand it myself. Eli was not.
He wasn't terrible, but he just wasn't hitting Marshall.
The Giants have not scared me for a long time because he just does not. He's not the guy to me. He's not going to be the guy to get it done. Yes, they made the playoffs last year.
They never scare anybody. Then they go on and win a Super Bowl. This is what they do. So, I'm not ready to jump yet. Not that I'm saying they're winning a Super Bowl, but this is what they've done.
I said it before the year, and I will try to maintain it all year. I don't see them just being super competitive all season.
When you got those two wide receivers out there, you expect them to be, yeah. Absolutely you do. But if you're going to pretend that Brandon Marshall, or you're going to pretend that that's, I don't know, some guy make up a name, Sean Marshall out there, Brian Marshall, and you're just not going to target this guy named Marshall. Then,
Michael Marshall?
Yeah.
Marshall
Literally. Marshall Mathers could have caught a couple more passes than they gave freaking Brandon. That was atrocious. I don't understand why Brandon was even out there.
So
it was worse than the Adrian Peterson situation, which we're going to get to eventually.
So
just saying. don't make no sense. You paid this man this money. There's nobody else out there. Who the hell else did the Giants go to? They don't have a running back. I can't name any other wide receivers they have.
All right, hold on.
I can't name the tight end.
In defense of them,
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I watched a 1 o'clock game that had the Washington Redskins.
Speaking of people I can't name.
Once Darby got hurt, Terrell Pryor was actually getting separation. But two things. One, it looked like he did not know what routes he was running because the ball would be landing in different spots than he was.
Like that?
And two, the one time Kirk Cousins did connect with him in the end zone, he dropped it.
You like that?
There was a penalty on the play anyways, so he got bailed out because there was a holding penalty. But, like, for real, you got to catch that. And he also dropped, like, 2 or 3 more just regular passes. Don't get me wrong, I think he had 3 or 4 catches for, like, 60 or 70 yards, but he had 3 or 4 drops as well.
So you think the Redskins could use Brandon Marshall?
I mean, if he
just
can't
a little better than what the Giants are doing?
If he can't find separation... Now that the Eagles quarterbacks, now that Darby's hurt, is anything special.
What I'm saying. They couldn't do it against the Cowboys.
But lucky for the Eagles, Darby is only going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. It's only a sprained ankle, not a broken ankle. It looks so bad.
That's not broken?
It was so
Wait,
scary.
it wasn't broken?
I literally was telling you.
I never saw the video. I saw the picture.
I literally told people Sunday night, I guarantee it's broken, and I was wrong. Apparently, it is only sprained. It says 4 to 6 weeks. I saw the thing today. They did 2 MRIs on it. They saw 2 doctors. They're ready.
Sense. I never saw the video, but I saw a pic, and it was literally completely... it looked like it was detached.
The Eagles' defense looked pretty good against...
That's the guy that they just signed, right?
Yeah, that's the guy they traded Jordan Matthews for.
That's funny.
The Eagles' defense did look pretty good overall, but once he went down, Kirk Cousins was moving the ball up and down the field a lot easier. There was a pick, and then there was a turnover, another turnover where Fletcher Cox picked the ball up and ran in for a touchdown, which sealed the game. But, I mean, once Darby went down, there was a little scare for me to watch what the Eagles' defense was doing. Carson Wentz looked really good. He was making some plays out there. He overthrew a couple guys. He put a little too much air into the ball, but he was on the run a lot. The offensive line did not look as good as people were trying to tell everybody they were before the year, so let's pump the brakes on that.
Saying.
But... at times they did.
Shout out to people that told me that they had a better offensive line than the Cowboys.
At times they did look good. Don't get me wrong. Like at times they looked really good. But there was a couple of plays where I was like, Carson Wentz bailed them out a couple times.
Yeah, and people even told me, well, the experts were saying that.
I would have liked to see.
Experts say. I can use my own eyes and tell you what a better offensive line.
I would have liked them
seeing
them run the ball a little more in the second half of the Garrett Blount.
Y'all don't do that. Y'all don't run the ball.
He had over 100 yards in almost the first half alone, though. So.
Okay. So I stand corrected. You ran it for the first half. What happened in the second half? Why'd you stop?
He played. I don't know why they stopped running the ball, but he looked good.
Why you got DeMarco Murray and got rid of him?
I'm glad he looked like the real deal. Which that was
he's good if you actually use him.
I didn't know where he was going to stand. So, Alshon Jeffries caught a really good 2-point conversion on Josh Norman, which I was really excited about. Wentz looked good overall. So he had a tip ball for an interception for a touchdown. The defense only gave up 10 points. Like I said, I was just a little scared there in the third and fourth quarter as they were moving the ball up and down. But the true test is obviously coming up here. They're going to play Kansas City. We'll get into that when we're doing picks. Yeah, and so, Andy Reid, that's exciting, right?
That's funny.
I mean...
That's funny.
Moving on.
That's funny.
We both had to prove it, right? Because
yep.
We wanted Tennessee and Oakland to prove it. We want Tennessee to prove to everybody they are as legit as people are talking about. We want Oakland to prove it that, hey, you didn't just do it last year. You can do it over and over. I picked Oakland to win. You picked Tennessee to win. I picked Oakland just because they went undefeated last year in the 1 o'clock hour, and as good as I feel like their offense is. They went 26-16. It was a grinded-out game. Marshal Lynch looked like the real deal, even though he didn't have a ton of yards or any touchdowns. On 3rd and 1s, he was getting 4 yards. On 2nd and 4s, he was getting 5 yards. He was running over people.
Difference maker.
He got them the yardage they needed. Sebastian Janikowski got placed on the IR Sunday morning after he signed a deal with them, which was this is interesting. I don't know. Their kicker ends up
reminded me of a whole situation.
The kicker ends up having an incredible day though, which was weird to see somebody else kicking the football for the Oakland Raiders.
I feel like Sebastian's been there for 40 years.
I mean, he was wasn't he a first round pick?
God, I don't even know.
He was a first round pick. He was Al Davis. He was a first round pick in Al Davis back when we were kids, man.
And that's what I'm saying. He's been there forever. life.
At least 20 years.
Life.
At least long. He
Hey,
was
shout out to him.
He was. Remember,
and he's still good, but
he was young when.
he was on Rich Gannon's squad.
He
bro.
was young
when he was there when they went to the Super Bowl.
He was young when they lost in the snow game. Remember? He was in that game.
Oh yeah, wasn't that like Brady's first year?
Yeah, that was Brady's first year. Sebastian Janikowski was in that game. He kicked a field goal to send the game, or with a minute and a half left or whatever,
So
and then Brady.
You saying he got 5 more years?
He got as many as Brady, maybe. Anyways, so Oakland.
So only this year.
Oakland did look good.
It's jokes. People, calm down.
Tennessee, I'm not pumping the. I'm not saying Tennessee, has going to be jumping off the rails.
No,
or
Oakland's a better team. I just picked them because that's who.
No, hey, that's fine. I understand.
But they clearly they have better talent. I would just expect them to look a little better. Mariota did play great. It was terrible. It's just like the
Raider defense.
It's like the Brady situation.
Points, so
he didn't play
Raider defense
terrible.
stepping up. Remember we talked about how I thought the Raider defense needed to surprise us. They surprised me. I mean, I thought they would give up more points than that. I thought.
Yeah, Mariota has too many weapons.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. And they didn't utilize DeMarco at all. They didn't utilize DeMarco Murray at all. So offensively, I don't know about defensively, but offensively they need to do a much better job. But I'm not jumping ship on them yet. But that was a good showing for
I'm not
Tennessee,
saying,
and they can definitely do better, at least on paper.
Well, their defense did well. I mean, they only gave up 26 points, right? And that's as good as the offense is on the other side. That they're liable to go off for 30 to 40 points. So that is a good showing for your defense, even though you lost. It's a building block.
Another team with wide receivers who are names that can't seem to get the ball. Eric Decker. Who was the other one they signed? Drawing a blank.
I don't know. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, that's gonna bother me. Anyway, so that
Don't they have Kendall Wright still? Anyway,
you sign these wide receivers and you expect them to do work, and you don't really do anything. Delanie Walker, I mean, he's still a beast out there, but he didn't have a touchdown. I know because he's on my fantasy team, but he gave me some points.
Not to continue to rub in the things that you were wrong about, but one last one, and then we'll talk about things that I was wrong about. Dwight, you literally laughed at me last week when I said that Baltimore.
And I don't fall off of this, so go ahead.
When I said that Baltimore would beat Cincinnati, you also laughed at me when I said that Baltimore would finish second in the division. You said the disrespect for Cincinnati.
That is disrespectful.
0.
And then the Cincinnati Bengals came out and just disrespected their entire
just like
fan
the New
base.
York Giants.
Which, by the way, my boy, who's the Cincinnati Bengals fan I was telling you about, he never responded to me. That's the funny thing. He shouts to him if he's watching.
What'd you say?
Because I said, man, what's up with you? I called out his team. I said, and I defended y'all. My bad. I literally said, and my bad. It's wild. Look, that's just Andy Dalton, 4 interceptions, 16 of 31.
He had 5 turnovers.
60 at home.
4 interceptions.
Look.
Is it A.J. McCarron time?
Dude,
Is it A.J. McCarron time?
No, Andy Dalton had a great year last year. Let's pump the brakes.
I don't disagree. Andy Dalton did have a good year last year.
You would think and hope that this is just
sold on them,
it's just a bad game. You got.
They only gave up 20 points.
Right. But you had 4.
That's winnable
turnovers.
in the NFL.
Right. But you had 4 interceptions against a depleted Ravens team. Completely depleted. Don't give me this Joe Flacco. He didn't have a great game. They won. Okay, congratulations.
Joe Flacco talked about his struggles on offense.
I was waiting for you to talk about it.
And I don't disagree.
But Cincinnati needs to do better.
They had a really good big play to Jeremy Maclin, like a 78-yard touchdown. And the rest of the time, they were moving
nothing.
the ball in field battle position, but they were not moving the ball far enough down. They weren't getting it past midfield often.
Andy Dalton gave them the game. Literally.
Absolutely.
He gave
4
them,
interceptions.
he said, here, please have my game. Please
the
have this W.
only score they had that they
That's
started
atrocious.
on the other side of the 50 was the 78-yard touchdown to Maclin. I don't disagree, but they did not move the ball well.
What's his name? Jeremy Hill?
Jeremy Maclin.
No, I mean, the running back for the Bengals. Is it Jeremy Hill?
Jeremy Hill, yeah.
He needs to do better. Andy Dalton needs to do a lot better. I feel like it was just, you would think, and I'm just going to go with that it was just a bad game. And hopefully, for Cincinnati's sake, they come back and do a much better because Andy Dalton, he's better than that. I'm not even going to disrespect this man. He's not Carson Palmer. He could do better than what he did. He proved it all last year, but that is atrocious. Just that is embarrassing. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Do they move on from Marvin Lewis here if it continues this way? I mean, this is not good.
Yeah. I mean,
this is
you're going to have to put the game.
You're starting to really hit the hot seat hard fast.
They're going to have to put the blame on somebody, and you're not going to do it to Andy Dalton.
No, he's too young. You have an opportunity with him.
2, 3. He just had a career year last year.
Yeah, you have an opportunity moving forward with him. Look, I'm not saying Andy Dalton.
You got AJ Green. You got
Joe Flacco has won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So Matthew Stafford has been to the playoffs twice in the last 3 years. You have an opportunity with Andy Dalton. He is a reliable quarterback to win games.
He had a bad game. So, yeah, it's time.
Yeah, that's one back. I'm not disagreeing. One back.
It's Marvin Lewis. But, yeah, I can't stop saying how atrocious that was. That's just terrible. What the hell was that?
For 1 second, I'm going to pat myself on the back, and then for the rest of it, we can just absolutely self-deprecate for me, all right?
I was going to say, can we keep destroying the Bengals? Because I'm having fun doing that.
I talked about how Houston would have Deshaun Watson playing at quarterback sometime this year, and they did it in week 1. So shout out to me.
Wait, so this is your pat on the back?
Okay, and he scored a touchdown on his first drive. But the defense looked really bad against Jacksonville, and I picked Houston to win the division, so that's not good. That was embarrassing. Leonard Fournette, 26 rushes, 100 yards, a touchdown. Shout out to the rookie for Jacksonville. Allen Robinson got hurt. Blake Bortles wins a football game?
Against the Texans.
Their defense should have been a lot better than that.
Can we go? Well, maybe.
Their offensive line is getting absolutely destroyed because their top offensive lineman is holding out for a new contract. So do you just give him do you just back a brink truck up to his house the day after that happens? No, you hold out. You just bomb the rest of the season because the reason Deshaun Watson had to get put in there is because Tom Savage can't move.
That's the reason.
Tom Savage is a statue, so he can't move. He got sacked 5 times, Dwight. He couldn't move. Deshaun Watson can run around a little bit, so he can run.
I'm glad you went back to the quarterbacks because we need to moonwalk back to your little pat on the back. Is that really a pat on the back?
That he got to play?
Yeah. Is that really something to be?
I mean, he got to play literally because. No, he got to play literally because Tom Savage can't run away from the defenders.
Because this genius, the genius of a quarterback coach who's had 8 quarterbacks during his tenure as a Houston Texans head coach.
And he keeps making the playoffs with all these bad quarterbacks. Watson's the first not bad quarterback. And
he was such a good judge of quarterback. Oh, okay. Well, we'll blame it on the offensive line. So what do you do next week? We're going to keep blaming the offensive line. We're going to play hot potato with this quarterback
until this guy comes back. They're playing the Bengals this week.
So we're going to keep playing hot potato with this quarterback situation.
Well, you're gonna.
It's week 1. Week 1, halfway through. Look, I don't care how many times it's made.
Destroyed.
Well, then why did you sign people? I get it. He's a genius quarterback coach, but not offensive line coach. I get it. My bad.
They need to sign this guy. That's what I'm saying. You just back the bench truck up to this offensive lineman's house. He was that valuable, obviously.
Please. How about all these quarterbacks? How about the genius who picked Tom Savage to be the starter out there?
I told you he was going to start
who's about to be on quarterback number 9 for a starter.
I told you he was about to start.
How are you a genius with
Watson in a couple weeks?
How are you a genius with 8 starting quarterbacks?
He finally got maybe his guy.
He finally got his rookie with a touchdown.
You gotta try.
Just like the Ryan brothers eventually get a sack on you. I get it.
You gotta roll the dice.
I like it.
You gotta go. You gotta try. There's now or never for him, right?
Yeah. Now one of the Ryan brothers don't have a job. The other one's on ESPN get on everybody's nerves. And how much longer is Bill O'Brien's on TV?
Seriously, the Texans had 2 winning seasons before he was there. One was that 13-3 year where they wore the jackets to New England and then got pounded on that Monday night.
Look, I'm not saying he's horrible. I'm just saying, can we get off this? He's a genius out of quarterbacks.
I think he does well with quarterbacks, but we'll see what he does with Deshaun Watson. I'm not judging it off of one game.
8 quarterbacks tells me you're not a genius. And he's about to have number 9. 9 starting quarterbacks. I'm just saying, keep being a genius, bro. Texans are going far.
Do you think the Rams have a genius head coach?
No.
The Colts just have the worst roster in the NFL, especially when Andrew Luck is not playing.
That's saying something when you had the Browns out there.
The defense scored 2
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Apparently.
The defense scored 2 touchdowns.
I'm going to stay on them.
The defense scored 2 touchdowns for the Rams.
What's up? Yeah, good for them. It's on Alabama. LA. Shout outs to them. They deserved it. They deserve a W. That's probably the only one they're ever going to get, but, shout out to Ice Cube. Somebody's watching. He wasn't watching. He was probably still celebrating his Big 3 league without Allen Iverson.
I like how you did the St. Louis rapper shouting to L.A. because they went from St. Louis to L.A.
It's not all I was going with, but way to be observant because I have no idea.
You said Nelly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny. We talked about Big 3 one time. And then we never talked. I don't even know who won. I know they had a championship 3 weeks ago.
Josh Jackson got signed by a team, and he's the first player to ever play in the Big 3 that now got signed by a team. He's the first one. They signed him off the Big 3.
No idea who that is.
He was the first overall pick a couple years ago. The guy with the afro, he played for Atlanta, and he played for the Phoenix for a while. You remember him? He played in overseas for a couple years. He's probably in his early 30s, mid 30s.
Josh Jackson.
Yeah, he could dunk and he could hit threes.
Are you talking about Josh Childress?
No. But he played with him.
Okay, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Shout out to that league that we don't watch, that we said we were going to watch.
Anyways.
Back to football.
So the Rams, they look pretty good. Surprising, but the Colts do not have much of a team, especially when Andrew Luck doesn't play.
No, the hell with the Colts, man. I'm done with them. And I'm about to really done with Andrew Luck. What the hell is wrong with him? What is going on?
He's injured.
Is he?
Shoulder.
Is he?
Maybe he just doesn't want to play for that team.
I'm kind of on that kick.
I quit football too until Jim Harbaugh became my head coach.
I'm kind of really on that kick of it. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, so
I don't follow.
Look, I say this every time, and every year this happens, and I have to do this every year. And I don't like to do this, but I always have to. No, not him. Okay. Ready?
No. Sure.
Chuck Pagano, the head coach of the Colts.
Is he a genius still?
Did you see the post-game interview with him? His press conference? Sitting down, talking about the game.
Okay.
Name the other team coaches, right?
I did see this clip.
Said he did well. But then he said the 49ers really just brought it today.
So much disrespect. So much disrespect. That's funny as hell. I didn't see that.
The only problem is we're talking about the Rams.
That's funny. So he wasn't there either. Him and Andrew Luck both weren't there.
Is it time for him to be fired? Because look, I'm not just off that quote. I'm saying, look, as bad as this team is, he has a really bad.
I don't know. Everybody loves him because he's been through some crap.
He has a really bad owner. They have a new GM, and this new GM's not going to keep him around because the new GM's going to want to bring his own coach in. John Harbaugh used to play for the Colts. He never places more than 4 years, even though he was kind of forced out of San Francisco. But San Francisco has done nothing but lose since he's been gone. So you see that Harbaugh is a good coach. Harbaugh has rebuilt Stanford. He rebuilt San Diego State. He rebuilt the 49ers, brought them to the Super Bowl. He's now rebuilding Michigan. If they could, Michigan could rattle off a Big Ten championship or even 10 wins this year, that would be super impressive. So you're looking at him as maybe being a top candidate for a coach. Like I said, he's played for you. Andrew Luck was his quarterback in college. Andrew Luck was his Stanford quarterback. He got Andrew Luck to be the number one overall pick.
There's an underlying factor. I should have known. He was his coach in college. Should have known that was going to be an underlying factor. That means I really don't care and know.
Chuck Pagano, if they don't win many games this year, he's calling the Rams the 49ers. It's just not a good look right now.
Get rid of him.
Andrew Luck also hasn't played in a while, so we'll see.
They like him too much. I don't know what's going on with Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck needs to... I don't know. I want to say man up. I'm not quite there, but it's getting close.
The Packers and the Seahawks, I was excited for a bunch of good football going on with that. That just turned into two offensive lines who could not block me or you if we decided to go out there and play for the other team.
Nope. Sounds like the Green Bay Packers.
I mean, it was so not fun to watch because those quarterbacks are so fun to watch, but nobody was getting the ball past the 50-yard line because they're just hike, throw the ball away, hike, throw the ball away, hike, run, throw the ball away, hike, get 3 yards on it. It was just not good.
I see no changes. That's horrible. It's the same thing we were complaining about last year, dude.
The refs also blew a really big call in the third quarter. So, I mean, that changed the game. But I mean, you can't... I mean, that's points taken off the board. That's a bigger call than usual, but I still can't say you can blame the game on one play. It's a big deal. I'm not discrediting how big of a deal it is. They admitted it was wrong. They also kicked out a player, which I thought was the most ridiculous thing in the world.
That was more atrocious.
It was just as bad as the other one, but it was like Adams initiated contact. Adams brought him to the ground. Right. Like, are you kidding me? And he didn't even throw a punch. No. They said twice in preseason that players were throwing punches and they ejected them, and neither times were those players throwing punches. So that's the last 3 times they've ejected people this year. None of them they were actually throwing punches.
The refs are bored. They can't penalize you for celebrating in the end zone. Now they got to look for something. So they're bored. I guess they're just looking for a reason. I don't know. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
It's early in the season. The Lions obviously usually have the worst time getting into the groove of this because they don't practice as much anymore. So
the Lions?
The offensive line and defensive line.
No,
the Lions. The offensive line and the defensive line, they have a hard time because you don't have as much contact anymore. So when you get into real game situations where it's just contact for 4 straight hours for the first time all year, it becomes bad football. So that'll get better as the year goes on. But I
don't know. It was horrible last year, so I don't.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't buy it. You had. You had both of them. I was gonna say just Andy Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers running for his life last year, and so was Russell Wilson. So clearly that was a fix, and that's a problem because you got, especially for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a dude that needs to stand in the pocket and needs to be able to throw the ball. He's not a runner really. He's more so just stand there. I mean, yeah, he can run it and he can just hit you with something.
Yeah, he's
stupid.
more mobile than
he can
most.
But
he's even more mobile than Big Ben is.
Right, but no. You need to protect that man. Let him do some work.
I don't disagree. When he can stand in the pocket and he has time, he's going to pick anybody apart.
And judging by that game, nothing changed, and that's horrible. And perhaps for Russell, it's even worse because he does run around and he does need that extra time to get away, but he's not going to get it if nobody's protecting him. That's horrible. So it's the same old with those two teams, really. Nothing changed. Chargers
lost on a missed field goal on Monday night. They had a chance to tie it. They missed on the last play of the game.
Yep.
Also on Monday night, Adrian Peterson returned to Minnesota.
He just likes talking about his favorite quarterback, Phil Rivers. I don't know.
He got booed.
I mean, yeah, when the game started, that's natural. But when he went out there, they cheered him, as was expected. I loved how they tried to make a big deal before the broadcast saying, what's going to happen? I was like, they're going to freaking cheer him. And what they do, they cheered him. When the game started, yeah, you booed. Duh.
6 runs, 8 yards. 6 runs, 18 yards.
That's something worth booing for, yes.
Not good. Also, when you're down 10 points within the first 10, 20 minutes of the game, whatever it was, you don't run the ball a whole lot after that, especially when you are the New Orleans Saints in the first place.
I don't hear no excuses.
They did not get a lot of first downs last night. Drew Brees didn't look all that good. The Vikings defense is good. That's the reason I picked them to potentially be a wild card team. Mm-hmm. Sam Bradford, perfect passer rating.
Yeah, that's good for him.
Him or Alex Smith, who had a better week?
Alex Smith, he beat Tom Brady in New England. Can't argue that. I don't care about passer rating. That doesn't mean nothing to me.
Okay.
So, yeah, I thought he was going to say Randy Dalton.
Randy Dalton.
That's funny. I'd have to not go with Andy Dalton.
Tom Savage? Tom Savage or Andy Dalton? 4 interceptions or sacked 5 times and replaced at halftime.
I'm going to have to go with the guy that has a genius for a head coach. He'll figure it out. It's like throwing shade. It's getting dark in here.
You have anything else to talk about with...
No, we need to talk about Adrian Peterson.
I want to ask you about that. How do you feel? What's up?
Well, look, I mean, I said the Saints were going to be in last place regardless, but I fully expected, and we talked about it, that possibly Peterson's coming in to not have Drew Brees throw 35 times in a game, right?
They had no offensive line. They were down 10, 15 points quick.
In the very first drive of the game, Adrian Peterson had back-to-back runs and got a first down, and he was bodying people like Adrian Peterson does. I don't hear that they don't have an offensive line. They weren't giving him the ball, and he wasn't given the opportunity to even show if he could or couldn't keep going. That's not, no, I'm not blaming the offensive line. Do they have a Dallas offensive line? No, I mean, I don't even have to think about that, but no. When you hand the ball off to him, 6 times or whatever it was, that doesn't show me anything. And when they did give it to him, he was relatively productive. So, he claims that he wasn't chirping in coaches' ear when they showed that camera shot.
I think he was.
I think he was too. Especially considering the pregame interview that they had with him. He was saying, he said he was joking, but he said, I better be the starter. Oh, I'm just joking. Come on, man. You don't go from being a Hall of Fame MVP running back who can potentially start anywhere outside of Dallas and just accept the fact that you're going to be on this bench situation or start and only get 6 carries. But at the same time, look, you would expect Sean Payton to figure it out and to get this man his carries. But at the same time, if you're Adrian Peterson, I need you to also just shut up because you signed with Drew Brees, who, as much as
I was literally just going to say,
much as we were saying last week,
coin is the other side of it is when you're down 10 points within 10, 15 minutes, you need to start passing the ball. And when you have Drew Brees, he threw it 70-plus times one time last year. So, if he throws it 50 times in a game, you're only going to have maybe 90 plays, 80 plays in a game. So, that only gives you 40 more chances.
And he should know this.
They break it up in different... it's not good.
And he should know that. Adrian Peterson should know that. So, no, he should have been mad because he should have known what he got himself into when you signed with Drew Brees. I thought it was going to help take the load off, but apparently that's not going to be the situation.
It's 10, 15 runs a game.
Adrian Peterson needs to
You're breaking that up between 3 running backs, probably.
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue. Why'd you even sign? What did you sign him for? Did Drew Brees feel sorry for him? Because he was like, look, coach, I've been there. I couldn't get a job. Nobody wanted me at one point. Why did they get him? They have Mark Ingram, who had a career year last year.
I'm still Vikings fans, and...
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I doubt this guy watches the show, but he, gets on Eagles fans a whole heck of a lot. And I saw him on Facebook just chirping away about, oh, that's what you get, Adrian Peterson, for being greedy and taking the money.
Did you burn his jersey too?
No,
Because you're the only one out there that was feeling that type of way.
Like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, why?
Vikings fans love Adrian Peterson.
Why don't you be appreciative of him? Like I'm appreciative of. I was appreciative of
knock it off.
Of Ryan Howard and even going back to Dawkins and McNabb. And we cheered McNabb and Andy Reid when they came back.
Shout out to that jabroni. I don't even care who it is. And I hope you are watching because you're a bum for that. You're the only one that felt that way. They cheered that man as they should have.
Yeah, after he got the ball.
And celebrated that man. First. Yeah, when he ran the ball, of course they did. He's playing for the other team, but when he ran onto the field, he was not booed. He was cheered. So, did you burn a jersey? You one of them people too?
No.
Go sit down. Go sit down. Knock it off. You're saying that's what you get to the only thing that you had in Minnesota since Randy Moss. If you don't knock it off.
So, Dwight, I have a real question for you.
Who are these people that you are friends with is my question.
Shout out to Randy Moss real quick, actually. Shout out to Randy Moss, who was honored in the Ring of Fame for the Vikings. Good for him.
I feel like pulling a Randy Moss and pulling my pants down for that guy.
Before we move on from anything else, I do like your jersey. I wasn't throwing shade at Dan Marino last week. I
told you I was going to wear my Marino
making jokes about other things, but I do love the Marino jersey. I'm a big fan of it.
It is fresh. I always love the white one. And you guys shout out to Florida, so I figured it was fair.
Yeah. Shout out to Florida, Miami.
So,
Keys, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope they can get everything together, and hopefully the damage is not as bad as it could be.
I've heard it's not good. I know some people that
wet.
I actually know a couple people that live in like Georgia area.
Scared.
Yeah, I mean they all seem to be good. They mostly just like lost power and crap
for like rain. Yeah, they got bad rain.
A day. Yeah, but even that just sucks.
Not good.
How hot it is down there. But yeah, shout out to them. So yeah, you gotta rep Dan Marino.
Dwight.
What's up?
This week.
This is fresh too.
This week.
It's bright. What's up? I'm just gonna admire this jersey.
There's a fight between two boxers that, unlike last time, neither boxer had a loss. The last boxing match we talked about, neither boxer had a loss. Both these boxers do have losses on their record. But
because they're real fighters, and that happens to real fighters.
Unlike last time, both of the fighters have wins on their record as well.
Are you done?
Triple G and Canelo. The fight that you and I have been talking about for a while, it is here.
The real fight.
I hope it lives up to everything and more. Triple G,
it's going to.
Hard hitter, Canelo, fast puncher. This is like Tyson versus Alvarez. I don't know how to explain how fast Alvarez is. No, I haven't. Like he just gets a lot of punches in on as faster than most people.
I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. I don't know.
But this is it. Triple G has knockout power from round 1 to round 12. At any moment, he can just crack you with one across the head. Alvarez can take hits, so this is going.
And he can put it
and
out there.
And he has a power punch as well.
Extremely.
It's just not. Yes. It's not as hard as Triple G's, but Triple G's does not have the quickness and the jabs that Alvarez does. So this is going to be very fun.
Right.
I'm being honest with you. As a boxing fan, I have no clue who I'm taking. Do you know who you're taking?
Yes. And I know how to defend the other guy because I feel like the other guy needs defended.
I feel like both can win this fight. I mean, I honestly do not know who is going to win this fight. I'm very excited to just see how this plays out.
I'm going with Triple G.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
Like 50-50, it could go either way, right?
Yeah. I mean, I still give the edge to Triple G. I just think he is.
Because of the power?
Yeah, I think Canelo has
he's a home run hitter.
Canelo has a lot of power in his punches, which people need to stop sleeping on. This is why I was about to say I need to defend this other man because people have been disrespecting this man ever since his fight was announced and basically say there's no chance, he doesn't stand a chance. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
I completely disagree.
Look, I don't think he's going to win, but I am not going to disrespect this man and say he's not going to be able to take these punches because he will be able to take them. And he's going to dish out a couple of his own, more than a couple. But I still give that edge to Triple G because I think that eventually that power is just going to do some type of damage where either, I don't know if he gets knocked out or, I don't know, busted kidney. I don't know. Something's going to happen where he's going to get his. I got to go in the distance. I will say...
If it goes the distance, I think Alvarez wins.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think he gets more punches in.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm saying it's going to go to distance. I'm saying it's going to be a split decision. I don't think it's going to be unanimous. This is my thing. Like, people have been just dogging Canelo, and I don't get it. And these are people that just know of Triple G. Ain't never seen none of his fights. Saw the Canelo versus Mayweather fight, and for some reason think that he's a scrub when he's not. Which breaking news, right? And breaking news to these quote fight fans who only ever watch Mayweather. Boxers lose. Like, this isn't like fighters lose. UFC fighters lose.
Yeah.
You're probably a fan of McGregor. He's now lost at least twice on the big stage. So there you go.
He lost twice before he was big in there.
Right, but that's the thing, yeah, and people don't seem to understand that. People don't, because of Mayweather, because he went undefeated, good for him, but people don't think that, people think if you take a loss, this isn't any other sport. You're going to take losses in fights. This is the way it's going to happen. I got my ass knocked out a couple times. I've also dealt it out in my lifetime. So, and I'm not a fighter. It's going to happen to fighters.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to disrespect that man, but I do think that Triple G is just going to be just a little too much to handle, and I think he's going to end up getting it in the end. I don't think it's going to be a knockout. I think he drops Canelo once or twice, but I don't think he's going to knock him out now. Well, and I hope to God that it goes to the distance, 1, and 2 goes to a second fight.
Well,
which, no, ain't no well. And 2, I need to say, because people disrespected him as well, Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
People put disrespect on his name, and I know some of you people, and you don't watch anymore, so good. But he said, he was the dude that called out Triple G. Remember he said, Triple G, our lines are open.
Yeah.
Call me the next day.
Yes.
And nothing ever happened. We never heard anything. We were like, what the hell, Oscar De La Hoya? I was still saying what the hell, but I was also saying I feel like he really wants to get this done.
Yeah.
He's not Dana White, but he tries to get what people want. And considering he was a fighter, he's not freaking, what's his name? Afro. Don King. He's not Don King.
Right. He's gonna give what the people want.
He's a boxer first, and he's a boxer.
He knows
first.
what they're gonna think first.
Right.
Who the best fighters are, and who's gonna fight who.
And he's trying to build this Golden Boys promotion, and he's trying to put some respect on.
He's trying to make it biggest.
Right. And he's trying to bring boxing back to the mainstream in America. And when you put that fight out there, that's exactly what you're doing.
I like that they're doing things on ESPN. They
so
have
shout out to him.
Really big fights on ESPN and all that now. If
right.
you get bigger fights
and why?
on cable,
it's at least in part because of him.
If you get bigger fights on cable,
right,
you have an opportunity for these pay-per-views to at least get maybe a little more power behind them.
Right. So shout out to him. Shout out to all these people that claim to be fight fans who have no idea that this is going on. But shout out to everybody that is going to watch this because I feel like it's going to be, well, it is going to be better than the Mayweather-McGregor fight from a pure boxing perspective.
Well, Dwight,
so shout out to people that are actually going to enjoy it because I know I damn sure am.
I'm excited for this fight. This is going to be fun. We're going to watch this one together as well. Anything else about the fight?
No. Let's go. I'm ready for it.
Well, I'm sure we'll recap it.
Yeah.
Before we do our picks,
what's up?
I want to talk about a little NCAA football.
Oh, yeah?
Baker Mayfield's getting more talked about for planting a flag that didn't stick into an AstroTurf than he is for beating probably the best defense in the NCAA.
Because it was disrespectful.
The game was tied at 3 going to halftime. He put up 24 points in the second half. He played extremely well. Look, I thought about this over time. We had this conversation before the other night, and I started to think about it. It's not that big of a deal.
Look, I don't think it's a big deal, but I'm just going
He was super salty last year about something that's stupid because they were singing their alma mater on his field, but they do that after wins and losses. Just Notre Dame does that after wins and losses, so I understand that. So I don't know why he felt some kind of disrespect for that.
I'm just going off my boy who used to be a linebacker for Penn State some years ago. I'm not going to say his name.
Right.
I'm just going off what he said, and he's a tough guy, so I believe him. That he said if that would have happened, and he was pretty angry about that. He was like, "Man, if that was us, I would have went out there and handled, at least try to go out there." And he said he pretty much called the other team soft for not doing anything, which I agree. I feel like they should have been out there, and that's T.O. on the star. Hit him. What are you doing?
He was surrounded by his teammates.
Yeah, you're gonna get suspended.
He was surrounded by his teammates.
Defend your team.
He was surrounded by his teammates.
Okay, so you go out there with your team.
And
I'm not saying there needs to be a fight or a riot. So people need to pump the brakes. All you social justice warriors that are typing in my comment section right now. But no, just defend yourself.
I like a little WWE in my real life sports, so I'm cool with what he did. It doesn't bother me.
And I'm cool with the retaliation.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Retaliation to the retaliation.
I don't think he should have had to apologize. He did apologize, Baker Mayfield. I think as of right now, he's the front runner for the Heisman. Him or Lamar Jackson, which we're going to talk about Louisville here in a second. But Lamar Jackson last week had over, I think it was 300 yards passing or in 100 yards rushing and 4 yards passing and 3 yards or three rushing touchdowns.
I need to figure it out. What was it?
3 rushing touchdowns, like something crazy. Anyways,
that's why I don't watch college football.
He's the number one. Him or Connor Mayfield. They're both in the top for the Heisman. Or Connor Mayfield, Baker Mayfield.
That's how much he pays attention to.
There's just a lot of names to follow. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield would be the first person since Archie Griffin, if I'm not mistaken, to finish in the top 4 voting in the Heisman 3 times in his career, which that's super impressive. Anyways.
Because nobody sticks around anymore. I'm just saying.
USC got a big win this week over Stanford. They ended up dominating like 42 to 20 something. It was a close game for the first
team, huh?
No, can't stand them. They scored like 20-some points in the second half to pull away from them. Clemson got a big win over Auburn, pretty low scoring. And my Fighting Irish could not find any offense and lost 20-19. If you would have told me that if you would have told me that Notre Dame's defense would have held anybody to 20 points. No, they held Georgia to only 20 points. That's a really big deal. The offense, which I was never ever worried about since Brian Kelly has been there, scored 19. It did not look good. The offensive line that's really good did not look good. He had a really bad press conference afterwards where he belittled a reporter. I
thought it was funny. You have a really bad thing with geniuses. Do you know that?
I never called him a genius.
Just saying.
This week, there's big games all over the board, though. USC is playing Texas. That'll be fun. Rematch of that Rose Bowl a couple years ago where Vince Young scored the touchdown to win the game. It's known as the greatest college game of all time.
More than a couple years ago at this point. Who's Vince Young?
When Snoop Dogg was the GM and, what's his name? The guy who does the Cadillac commercials for Lincoln or whatever. The white guy. He's in 10 Ways to Lose a Man. What's his name? Anyways. Matthew McConaughey, obviously. They were the GMs. I always say he was the GM of Texas and Snoop was the GM of USC. I swear they were paying all those players. Anyways,
that joke went over well.
I bet they were. I bet they had a bet. I bet they had some kind of bet of some kind. I'm telling you, I bet they were playing. Anyways, Clemson and Louisville are playing in Louisville. Louisville, I guess is how you're supposed to say it. Lamar Jackson. This is going to be fun. This is going to be the real test against Clemson, which might be the best defense. Them or Ohio State. They're the best defenses in the nation. So we'll see. Tennessee also plays Florida. Notre Dame plays Boston College. Not like anyone's interested in that anymore, other than me.
That's factual.
That's all I got on the NCAA football this week. I'm taking Clemson in that big matchup, by the way. Speaking of picks.
Yep.
Last week in the NFL, what'd you do to White?
I went 10-5, but don't you got a feel-good story this week?
Amanda Nunez gave a belt to a cancer patient.
This guy. Can't deal with this guy.
After she won the belt the other night.
Anyway, shout out to Amanda Nunez. I didn't watch this fight. The truth is, we didn't even know what was happening. I'm so out of the USC loop, but I didn't know to the day of, and I was just like, I gotta work, so I was like, whatever.
I didn't even know what was happening.
Supposedly, some people aren't happy about it. It was like a split decision, but some people are kind of funky on it. Don't feel like Amanda Nunez should have won it. I don't know. I need to watch it back, and then I'll let you know. But shout out to her regardless. She went out of her way, saw some cancer patient, yeah. Gave her the belt, told her to keep it. Hey, shout out to Amanda Nunez. That's what's up.
It's a great story. Good for her. Yeah, we appreciate people like that in the world doing good things.
Definitely, shout out to her. I need to see that fight, and I'll let y'all know.
We talked about J.J. Watt last week, up to $20 million. He's now up to over $30 million. So that's incredible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Start giving some to Florida, hopefully, people as well.
Yeah, let's do some work.
I went 12-3. You went what? 10-5. You said?
Yeah, I went 10-5.
This week.
Don't feel too bad about it. It's better than what I thought it was.
There's some interesting picks this week.
Yeah.
I think Houston starts Deshaun Watson. I'm picking them because
you get on my nerves.
Cincinnati didn't show me anything.
Neither did Houston.
No, I don't disagree. So this is the toss-up. This is the flip of the coin. And I figured you would take Cincinnati, so we got to go head-to-head.
I'm going Cincinnati just because they can't. You can't.
At home?
You can't.
On a Thursday?
Again,
at
home.
Back-to-back at home?
I guess we got to scratch that at home part, huh? But this would be even worse. Like, you lost to a depleted Ravens team. At least it's a rival, and you still kind of have Joe Flacco, even though he didn't do anything. But you can't do this to Houston. You can't. Or I'm roasting you. They will be roasted. Even worse than they were if this happens again. Shouts to my boy, who's a Cincinnati Bengals fan. If you're watching, I got to let you know. I'm going to destroy them if they lose.
As of today.
Just saying.
The player with the highest quarterback rating ever against the New England Patriots is Alex Smith. But before Thursday, the player with the highest quarterback rating against the New England Patriots was Drew Brees. The Patriots go to New Orleans this week. New Orleans looked really bad offensively against Minnesota. They're on a short week going against a injured of somewhat New England team with Hightower getting hurt. Do they take advantage of that? Do they run the ball more with AP? Do they beat the New England Patriots?
Negative. No, I think it's time for Brady to bounce back, and then we're going to have to deal with another week of Adrian Peterson potentially being trade talks. This is what we're going to have to deal with.
We don't do this, but can you put like a number on what you think the Patriots score? They scored 21 last week. What would you find to be a good number this week against that team?
35.
I'm going 27. If they get 27 or more, then I think they're...
They'll be at least 30, but I'd say 35.
Brady
because that defense is horrible.
210 and a touchdown?
Yeah.
Acceptable?
No, but he'll have more than that. He'll have two or three. He's going to have a better game.
Tampa Bay had the most unfortunate bye week ever with the unfortunate circumstances.
Yep.
They do get Chicago to start the season for them.
So they got another bye week, so that's what's up. They get back-to-back bye weeks.
Chicago hung in there with Atlanta.
Maybe it's just a Super Bowl slump. I don't know.
I got Tampa Bay winning this game.
Of course you do.
Do you?
Yeah, of course I do. No. And they deserve it.
I feel bad for them. They have to play 16 straight games, but this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Here we go. They're off to start.
Yeah, it sucks.
Everyone else has a game in, so I mean, do they look rusty? Does Chicago get to pounce on them a little early, or do you think they're chomping at the bit and they come out just dominating?
They'll look a little rusty, but they're still going to pull out and get this easy W. It's easy, and I need it because Deshaun Jackson's on my fantasy team.
Two teams you dislike. Deshaun Jackson's also on a couple of my fantasy teams. Two teams that you have no faith in.
Who's that?
Cleveland versus Baltimore. Deshaun Kaiser looked good. Almost pulled off the upset against the Steelers, but almost only counts on horseshoes and hand grenades. Not in the NFL. 0-1 the Cleveland Browns are, and the 1-0 Baltimore Ravens. You got the upset?
No, of course
you're taking Joe Flacco to go 2-0. Your boy.
I need you and him to just go have a baby already.
I think it's going to be a good game. I also have Baltimore winning at home.
I ignore that too.
Arizona playing...
You don't even know.
I don't know if they're playing Purdue or if they're playing Indiana University or if they're playing the Colts. I don't know.
You said Purdue.
Well, Purdue plays right down the road from the Indiana.
I don't care about that.
Colts.
I didn't care about that detail. It's funny you said a college team. That sucks.
I got Arizona winning this football game.
So do I. Doesn't that hurt you because you hate Carson Palmer?
I don't hate Carson Palmer.
You do hate Carson Palmer.
He's a USC player, so I don't like him, but I don't hate him.
You hate Carson Palmer. You've been off of him for like 3 years.
Because how good have they been for like 3 years?
Oh my God. I could say the same thing about any Philadelphia team ever. So, I mean, I remember that. But the Colts are garbage, so, I mean, you gotta go with Cardinals.
Speaking of Philadelphia, shout out to my old coach, my man, Andy Reid. Eagles are playing the Chiefs this week.
This is actually kind of hard for me.
It's not hard for me at all. His protege, Doug Peterson, he used to call plays for him. Andy Reid knows everything in the Eagles playbook.
I don't hear your
He's
pick.
super creative. His offense is really fast. The Eagles lost their best cornerback I'm just hoping they don't run up 42 on them. I'm going with Kansas City, and I'm rooting for the Eagles, obviously.
That's funny.
I'm super scared. I'm hoping Indy has some mercy on us. And maybe Eric Berry being out helps. Look, Nelson Aguilar had a big game, which not expected. But I like Alshon Jeffries and what Torrey Smith did. So if Carson Wentz... Carson Wentz can win some shootouts. I just don't know if Kansas City's the team to do that against. I'm excited to see what they do. This could be a prove-it-to-me week. Back-to-back road games, though. It's just they did not play well on the road last year. They already got one win. I said the Eagles have to be better on the road this year to make the playoffs. So this is a big step in the maturation of Carson Wentz. With Andy Reid knowing almost everything Doug Peterson can throw on the table, considering he brought Doug Peterson to the NFL, he called plays over Doug Peterson for the first half of every game, and Doug Peterson was calling plays in the second half. He basically suggested Doug Peterson get hired in Philadelphia, and it's just hard for me to see Andy Reid not kind of be able to be on the other side of the ball even while he's with Kansas City and knowing what's going on the Eagles sideline. So hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully the Eagles can pull it off. I love Carson Wentz. I like what I saw. The offensive line
love Carson Wentz.
did protect him pretty well.
You get the opportunity.
But when they didn't protect him well, he made the plays. He kept it alive. He handled things really well. I'd like to see him run the ball with LeGarrette Blount a little more. We'll see if Peters comes back. Vata played well in replace of him. It's hard for me. The way Kansas City played last week, Alex Smith playing as well as he did, the way the Eagles' defense looked without Darby on the field, I'm taking Kansas City. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
I had the Eagles,
but I just
probably before the injury went down with the Chiefs' safety. But I mean, No, I'll take the Chiefs regardless, just because I feel like I keep saying Andy Dalton. I'm on this get on Cincinnati, Cincinnati kick, and I'm just gonna stay on that.
You're a big dog guy.
Yeah. What's his name? Jesus.
Alex Smith.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
I'm on this Alex Smith beat Philadelphia kick right now. I feel like he's going to do that. I guess that's secondary.
I don't know who's better, Alex Smith or Sam Bradford.
Alex Smith.
I don't know. Sam Bradford put a perfect passer rating up last week.
Your sarcasm's so bad. Do you know that?
He threw the ball down the field. He did not do that often last year.
It's like your shot. We're going to talk about that. Your subliminal tweet you had earlier today. We're going to get to that. Let's finish up these picks. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because you know what I'm talking about.
Minnesota is taking on Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
I like purple and gold.
Gold. Who you taking?
Pittsburgh. I mean, Minnesota's cool. Their defense is cool. Sam Bradford, he's cool for like 5 weeks. Then they fall off like they did last year.
I think defense...
Potentially, but Pittsburgh's just... Come on now.
I think defense travels, and I think Pittsburgh's defense did not look good in the second half against Cleveland. I'm going with Minnesota in this one. I think that this would be basically the game that...
I don't know if you're doing that in Pittsburgh, though.
It's going to be interesting. Look, Pittsburgh is obviously the more talented team. Pittsburgh should be favored in this game. I understand everything about that, but the way that defense played against New Orleans, they proved to me that they can shut down wide receivers, and that's what you have to do. And now it's going to be being able to stop Le'Veon Bell, who didn't have a huge game against Cleveland. So we'll see. I'm taking Minnesota though. I think that defense can travel, and their offense. I mean, New Orleans is not a good defense, so I'm not sitting here saying that But Cleveland moved the ball against the Steelers defense pretty easily in the second half of that game. I think that Minnesota's offense is as good, if not better, than Cleveland's offense. So if they were able to do that, I think Minnesota has a chance of putting up 20-plus points in this game. I'm picking them more because of their defense, though. Tennessee not looking to go 0-2 against Jacksonville. Jacksonville looking to go 2-0. Does Jacksonville surprise everybody again?
Oh, man.
This is a hard pick.
It is.
Because of what Jacksonville did last week.
Right.
I still think it just had more to do with Houston's offensive lineman being out. I'm taking Tennessee in this game. I really think Tennessee is a more talented team. Allison Robinson got hurt.
They are a more talented team. I'm going Tennessee. That's who I have on here. I'm not real confident in that because if Jacksonville does...
Tennessee's offense needs to do better than they did last week.
If Jacksonville does a quarter of damage and the work that they were doing last week on Tennessee, I don't know. In Jacksonville, they might just mess around and win. But then again, when you say the name Blake Bortles, I'm going to say, oh, no.
Blake Bortles versus Mariota, and that's, you're going to take Mariota.
Tennessee, yeah.
Tyrod Taylor versus Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
Buffalo 1-0, Carolina 1-0. Man, Carolina's offense
Sucks.
Cam did not run the ball a whole lot, and I've been preaching that for years. He's got to get more accurate if he's not going to run the ball as much because running is his biggest weapon, obviously.
No, he's not a good thrower.
He's going to have to run the ball around a little bit to be... He's going to have to put those...
They don't want him doing that no more,
I know,
dude.
but he's going to have to.
They don't want your boy
That's
running
the Cam
no more.
Newton.
Nope.
And I've been saying it for years, and I'd like to see him try not to, but the way
he can't run. But he can't pass. I mean,
what I saw on Sunday, I'm going to need him to run.
I've said before as well, and I've gotten shit on.
He opens things up with his running game. He opens up a lot with his running game. You just need to monitor it. It doesn't need to be 30 times a game, 13 times a game. It can be 5, 6, 7 times a game. That's all you need for it to open up. Just the threat of it being there. I still got Carolina beating Buffalo.
Yep.
Miami also had the bye week last week. Gonna have to go 16 straight. They're taking on the Chargers. Your favorite boy, Rivers.
Yep.
Opening up the Chargers' new home for at least a year or two.
Yeah.
The Galaxy Stadium. The MLS soccer team. Do they sell it out?
No.
Better chance of them selling it out or winning the
know.
football game?
I don't know. Winning the football game.
Do you have them winning the football game?
Yeah.
I got Cutler getting his first win.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good game, and I had a hard time picking this.
Yeah.
I think that Miami's
I
defense...
just don't know if Miami's going to do well traveling out that way.
I think they've been out there for a week. I think they traveled out there to get away from the storm.
So, they have been. But
I think their defense... I think their defense is good enough. Their interior defensive line is good enough to get to the quarterback, and I don't know if Rivers is going to have enough time to be getting the balls to those weapons.
He has nothing out there.
It's going to be interesting. I assume you're picking the Jets to beat Oakland.
Yep.
We don't have to talk about that.
Yep, you got it.
Luke McCown, Josh McCown, Mike McCown, Dan McCown, whatever McCown, the quarterback.
Gotta go with McCown.
Cool, so we don't talk about that.
Cool.
I got Oakland winning. Obviously, you have Oakland winning as well. They're opening up at
Jets
home.
are gonna get no
First
love
game
on
at
this
home.
show, I'll
That's
tell
going to
you.
be rough. That's going to be a rough game. Well, trust the process. They're tanking. Washington taking on the Rams.
Every garbage opportunity he gets to say that garbage line.
Washington taking on the Rams. Are the Rams a fluke?
Yeah.
Do they beat Washington?
No. Going Washington. On the road.
Prove it to me. I'm taking the Rams. Actually, I'm taking the Rams because Washington is not impressive at all.
Neither are the Rams.
I don't disagree, but I think they're...
You're just picking one.
I think their defense is better than Washington's defense, and that's why I'm picking the Rams.
Sure.
Dallas taking on Denver. A battle of a really good defense versus a really good offense. Trevor Siemian looked really good. It made me tempted to almost take Denver in this one because I think that he's going to have a little bit of success against Dallas's defense. But the thing that Dallas does really well keeps the ball out of the hands of the other team. So I got Dallas winning this football game.
Oh, that ball.
I assume you have Dallas as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it was an easy pick because I think that they're deep. I don't trust Trevor Siemian, first of all.
I don't trust Trevor Siemian either. I think he showed me some flashes against the Chargers.
I think Denver's defense is going to put... They might... I don't know. I don't know how that offensive line is going to match against that defensive line.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
I still think they put pressure on Dak, and we got to see how he does. But at the end of the day, if you lean on Zeke, he should be able to do something. But they might stop him as well. I don't know. But I'm going Dallas. It's not going to be an easy game. It won't be. It'll be low scoring. That's like a 16-9
I guess the game will be on Fox. I was thinking it would be on CBS because it was a AFC home game. But no, it's when the AFC team is at home and the NFC team is there, it's on Fox. So they're going to have Aikman most likely announcing it. But I was going to say, did you get to see the Romo highlights?
No.
He was really good.
I heard.
He was really good.
Shout out to everybody who talks trash on him.
I'm excited to watch him for a couple of games this year.
I heard he was excellent. I heard he was calling plays before they were happening.
It was incredible. He was really good. Tony Romo did a really good job at play-by-play there as the color analyst.
Good for him. Take over for Anthony. Please, somebody take over for Anthony.
San Francisco taking on Seattle.
Seattle.
I got Seattle as well.
I don't know what San Francisco is.
Seattle's offensive line was a little scary last week, but I still think they're going to beat San Francisco. They're in a rebuilding as well. Green Bay taking on Atlanta, the NFC Championship game rematch at Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a fun game. I had a hard time picking this. Who are you taking?
I didn't really have a hard time with it. I'm going with Atlanta.
ATL?
Yeah, I'm going with Atlanta.
Opening up the new Mercedes Dome?
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay, I'm not... I'm cool with Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know. It might be a shootout, but I think Atlanta just has a little bit more to them.
I think that week 1 is more of a preseason matchup than ever before, where teams are actually starting to really work things out and feel each other out. And I think that Green Bay had a tougher test than Atlanta did. And I think Green Bay's test against Seattle will have them ready for this game quicker than Atlanta will be ready. So I'm taking Green Bay in this. I think Aaron Rodgers has some success against that defense early. I do think Atlanta finds their groove. Julio Jones is going to have a big day, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Ryan, they're going to come out. They found a decent tight end there. I have Green Bay winning that game, though, spoiling the home opener. It's going to be a fun game. I'm excited for that.
It won't hurt me none because Aaron Rodgers is my quarterback on my fantasy team. So go ahead, do work, Aaron Rodgers.
A not so fun game for Monday Night Football. Your favorite quarterback, Matthew Stafford, taking on Eli.
My other favorite quarterback with stank face.
I had a really hard time picking this game because if
you hate on the Giants so much.
If Odell plays,
he's not. They already said he's not. So you can just scratch that whole conversation.
I'm taking Detroit.
Your favorite quarterback?
I'm taking Detroit.
You're taking your favorite quarterback, the highest paid?
I wouldn't.
Clearly that makes him the greatest of all time.
Ever. He's better than Andrew Luck, that's for sure.
That's not saying anything. I'm taking the Giants at home.
It's gonna be a good game.
I don't think they're as bad as they showed themselves in week 1. Yeah, they frankly, they embarrassed themselves on offense.
They just look like they're playing with like half a hand. You know what I mean?
I feel like they are better than what they showed, and I think they can do that against Detroit at home. They have to. In the primetime spot, I'm ignoring you.
Because he has half a hand.
Shout out to EA Sports who gave him his full hand in the game.
That was really nice of them.
That was really stupid of them.
That was really nice of them.
It's in the game. His hand ain't really in the game, so, I mean, you lied to me.
So, you're mad because I threw some shade at Kobe Bean, and I wasn't throwing shade
at
Kobe Bean.
It's funny. It's funny. I love me some Kobe Bean. It's so adorable that I don't even have to say what I was mad about. I love it. No, because you always got. This is what you did last week. You always got to throw subliminal little shade.
I love Kobe.
You say that shit, but you always got to throw shade.
I do love Kobe.
Well, so what'd you say? Well,
I'm
so
excited that he's
why you assume that that's what I was talking about? Because you knew that you were throwing shade.
Because you were mad.
Because you knew you were throwing shade.
Mad.
You're damn right I was. What'd you say?
I wasn't trying to hurt the whites.
First of all,
I was making fun of. There's a couple kids, not you. There's a couple people.
Stop disrespecting Kobe Bryant like everybody else has been doing since this man retired.
I like Kobe, but people are acting like look.
He is one of the greatest of all time.
He is one of the greatest of all time.
Don't even.
I have him as the top 10 greatest player of all time without question. Maybe even the top 5. I do not disagree with any of this.
So what's with this subliminal?
Because people are talking like he's the greatest of all time. And
okay, so one, that's their opinion. So
that's fine. He's not.
Why do you hate other people's opinion?
I don't hate other people's opinion.
You just said
people hate mine.
Because you're ridiculous with some of the shit that you say.
But I like Kobe. I'm excited he's having December 18th. Good for him. Tickets are already up to over $1,000 on StubHub.
Yeah, I was going to try to see if I can get to that. So much for that.
Super hyped about Kobe getting 2 numbers in the Raptors. I do think he deserves both numbers. I liked his quote about saying, my favorite Kobe, again, Kobe being Kobe, one of my favorite quotes ever by him. When they asked, which number would you like to be retired? He said, it doesn't matter because if the other one doesn't get retired, someone's going to have a lot to live up to if they wear it. And I don't disagree. I love Kobe. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for you. Just like I had my Iverson night, you get your Kobe night. We're going to get a lot of Kobe love here in the next couple months. In December, it's going to be a lot of Kobe love, obviously, when they put the numbers up.
I'm just going to need you to stop throwing shade on Kobe Bean.
It's not Kobe. I'm throwing shade on the Kobe stands.
What about these 12-year-old kids then?
They ain't 12. They like my age.
That's all they know. They ain't pay attention to Jordan. This is what
they do.
They're going to do the same thing with LeBron in 10 years. This is what I told you, dude.
Look, it's look, I have this conversation with Eagles fans a lot, right? So the Donovan McNabb thing, he's throwing a lot of shade on Carson Wentz right now. And I understand why he would want the Eagles fans to make Carson Wentz prove it to them. He wants the Eagles fans to make Carson Wentz, because he had to prove it to the Eagles fans. So he's like, how does he come in here and, like you say, what I call him Jesus, right? What'd you say? What did you say? When I said I love Carson Wentz, you were like, yeah, we all know you love Carson Wentz. You call him Jesus or something like that. I don't know what you said. But either way, point is, yes, all us Eagles fans are big Carson Wentz fans, and it did take us time to become McNabb fans. But the difference is McNabb did not show the flashes that McNabb did not have a game like Carson Wentz just had in his first 2 years. Carson Wentz had a bunch of those games last year. Do you know what I mean? Where McNabb did not have those in his first 3 years. Where they made it to the NFC Championship his third year, there was a lot more defense in those than not point being. I understand why he was upset, but, I mean...
So you still hate people that think Kobe's better than LeBron?
I don't hate people that think Kobe's better than LeBron. I just think that it goes Jordan and LeBron and then everyone else. And I think that I think there is a clear separation between them and everybody
so you do hate it.
I don't hate it. I just personally think there's a clear separation between those two and the rest of the field. And I love Dr. J, and I love Shaq, and I love Kobe, and I love Iverson, and I love Steve Nash, and I love Pistol Pete, and I love Oscar, and I love Kareem. I mean, you could go on. Kareem. He could be the greatest player of all time. Magic, Bird.
I'm not talking about them people. I'm talking about how do you feel when people say that Kobe's better than LeBron? You still feel some type of way about that? Like, really feel some type of way about that?
I mean, I don't think Kobe's better than LeBron, but that's their opinion. It is what it is.
Okay.
I think it's just people that don't like LeBron as a human, so they don't give him enough credit as a basketball player. Because I think that if you
I just
put
think
them
Kobe
up,
Bryant's a better basketball player. So
that's fine. That's your opinion.
Why does it have to be anything? Why does it have to be you just hate LeBron? I just think he's a better basketball player. It's like we were having a conversation about number 8 versus 24. I clearly think 24 is better. You don't think, you think number 8 is a better player.
No, I think 24 is a way better player.
Well, you think number 8 is whatever you thought he was. And
I think he's a more athletic player.
Well,
I think 8 was way more athletic than 24. I wish that 8 had the mentality of the 24 because if you
it's
had
just like young
skills,
Jordan versus old Jordan.
Absolutely. If
but
you would have
taking old Jordan every day.
Yeah, right. But if you, absolutely. But old Jordan's skills were better than young Jordan's skills.
And you're going to take old LeBron versus young kid LeBron. That's just factual. It's the same thing.
I think
old LeBron's doing more than baby LeBron was doing. That's factual. There's no argument with that.
Would you take his last years in Cleveland or his first years back with Cleveland? I would take his last years with Cleveland. I would take his last years with Cleveland over any LeBron. That LeBron.
You mean these past couple of years?
Like, no, I'm saying his last 2 years in Cleveland and before he went to Miami, or his first 2 years in Cleveland when he came back from Miami.
When he came back.
You would take those two?
Yeah, he was a better defender. He actually attacked somewhat. He still can't make a free throw. But, yeah, I'll take him over. And he's seasoned.
The athleticism.
He's experienced.
Yeah, it's the same thing with that Kobe before and after.
But you don't trust that to win you.
No, I don't disagree. You're right, and I don't trust either of those. I don't trust that Kobe or LeBron by themselves to win me anything. But I do think that that LeBron, that year against Boston.
So he could dunk. So could they all
Kobe's
dunk.
dunks were absolutely impressive.
That's what
and they both.
So he could dunk.
And Kobe was
that's
throwing
the highlight of their first couple years.
Kobe was throwing down dunks towards the end of his career, just like LeBron is as well. So there is that. Yeah, I guess this LeBron is probably way more dominant overall as a player.
Easily.
What he did in those
Kobe,
finals,
just like Jordan was, just like
what he did in the finals by himself against the Golden State Warriors the last 3 years is probably the most impressive stretch.
Old LeBron would embarrass new LeBron, just like old Kobe would embarrass young Kobe. Anyway, we just had to clear up some things because he knew what I was talking about.
I love Kobe.
He knew he was.
And I'm excited. And I told you how I'm excited I am for the next couple of years when Kobe goes into the Hall of Fame. We're gonna have all this Kobe stuff going, like we had all the Allen Iverson stuff. I literally the other day got to watch 4 Allen Iverson games back to back on my off day. They showed him on NBA. It was he put up 54, 52, 54. It was like the 97 stretch to the 03 stretch. It was awesome to watch. But we're going to have so many Kobe days like that. They already have Shaq days like that. Like, it's going to be...
I just thought Rachel Nichols had the best quote on Twitter when she tweeted. She didn't say it, but she basically just implied she didn't care what jersey number went up as long as when they put the statue outside Staples, it's of him not flinching to Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm
in on that.
I'm so in on that. Then Matt Barnes is going to have a statue too. That's so great. That's so great.
Do you just fake put Matt Barnes in a Clipper jersey?
You might just have some hands that are just like...
Yeah, right. Do you put Matt Barnes in a Clipper jersey even though he did it with the Mavs? Do you put him in a Clipper jersey just because?
No.
No?
No, don't disrespect Matt.
So put him in the Mavs jersey.
That's fine.
Can we put a Clipper Matt Barnes jersey over the jersey? Like a real Clipper Matt Barnes? Like he'll have like on the statue the Mavs imprinted, enshrined into it. You know what I mean? That'll be sketched in. But can we put a Matt Barnes Clipper jersey over the statue?
No. Did you ever see that TNT tweet they did for Kobe's birthday? They took that clip and he was throwing... confetti out birthday box. That was so great. I laughed so hard. Kobe had a birthday hat on. It was so funny.
But shout out Kobe.
That's the best Kobe moment ever.
Philly in the house. LA.
Shout out to Kobe. France. Oui.
Next week.
Yep.
Last week before I go on vacation.
Is it?
We'll recap Triple G Canelo. We'll talk about the NFL. We'll talk about picks.
Word.
The NBA and NHL are starting to come soon, I'm sure. The MLB with the Dodgers, the best team, best stretch of my
We
lifetime.
don't talk about that.
Then they had the worst stretch in 4 decades that they've had.
Cleveland out here. Cleveland!
Longest stretch ever.
This is for you.
What?
God.
It's crazy.
Doesn't make any sense.
The Dodgers, 1.5 games.
You know what happened? That's the curse Alonzo Ball that happened to the Dodgers.
Magic.
I'm just saying magic.
So we're going to talk baseball. 19 games left. The Phillies just have to win 9 games to not lose 100 this season. We're rooting for that. 16 of the 19 are at home, so
Not happening.
fingers crossed. Go Irish this week.
Sure.
Thank you for still watching. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight.
Mamba out.